Hi guys, hope all's going well and everybody's doing okay. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today to share a topic that's I've had troubling for over 5 decades now. It's about addiction. And it's about my addiction that I had. And it all stemmed from when I was a little girl, where in my family growing up, I was the black sheep of the family. I wasn't accepted like my other siblings. And it just created a mentality of not feeling worthy, not wanting to be alive, just no matter what I did was wrong, kind of mentality. And when I got into my relationships later on, my addiction started in 1979 and it ended in 2026, March of 2026. So it's been a long time of this addiction I've had. And then I finally addressed it and put it to rest. And I'm free. I don't have anything controlling me. It's been actually refreshing to know that I don't have to rely on something to keep me going or to feel worthy or to feel like I'm escaping something that is very troubling. And in the beginning, like I said, in my childhood, I was the black sheep of the family. Not feeling worthy, always making mistakes. And two, I suffered from ADHD as a kid. So that didn't help. On top of that, and I had high anxiety. So in 1979, when I was married, he kind of turned me on to marijuana. And I know some people might say that's not an addiction, but it really is. And it took me till March of 2026 to break it. So, and always feeling I had to have it, or always feeling like, I had to light up, or just to feel comfortable in my own skin. And two, like I said, having anxiety, high anxiety, where I felt like I was always crawling out of my skin and just always on edge, and then suffering from ADHD. It was kind of like a double whammy on me. So, but I do believe honestly that my addiction kept going due to being a domestic violence victim. Because that mindset continued to, you're not worthy. No one's going to want you. How can you be such a troublemaker? Like in my past relationships, if I felt like, women get like a gut feeling whether their man's cheating on them or not. And I had those gut feelings a lot. And so if I picked up a phone or his phone and wanted to scroll through to look to see, now this is later on, because phones back in 79, you didn't have cell phones. But as we moving forward, the cell phones did, I would scroll through to look to see, is he talking to anybody, or, because he always made me feel like, I was always troublesome, like he didn't want to be around me. And, so I thought, well, if he's feeling like that, then maybe there's somebody else that he's spending time with, because there'd be times he'd be gone for hours on end. And in my end of it, I was glad he was gone, because then I didn't suffer the abuse, or the shaming, or the, but as soon as he walked in the door, it started all over again. And, it was just never ending. And so when I would smoke marijuana, it would calm me. It would be like an escape for me. It would calm my anxiety, feeling like I was crawling in my skin. It also, it was an escape for me. I'm not going to lie. It was an escape for me, and I suffered it for many, many years. And like I said, I finally was able to put it down March of 2026. And that's over 5 decades of addiction. And just for different reasons and different relationships, I continued it. And I'm here to tell you, I never felt better. I've never felt better, because I don't have something controlling my life saying I got to go out and get it. I got to go out. And at the time in 79, you weren't allowed, it was illegal. And, but it helped me. It helped me with the anxiety, and it helped me escape, the issues that I was suffering from. And I just, time after time after time, if I could figure out all the money I spent on the weed, I'd be rich. I mean, really rich. And I'm free from it. And I'm telling you, I've never felt better. And I know there's other people out there that may have other addictions, with chemicals or, but like I said, mine was weed. And my first relationship, I was in a arranged marriage. I was a teen mother. And my father was a disciplinary in growing up. And, he believed that because I was underage, and the man that I was with at the time, the young man that I was with at the time, needed to marry me because of the situation of me becoming pregnant. And back then, it was frowned upon. And again, I shamed my family, being a teen mom. And, so I became an emancipated minor back in 1978, 77, 78. And I started out my relationship with this man that my father arranged my marriage with. And at the time, I thought, oh, brand new beginning, things are going to be great. But really underneath, when you have an arranged marriage, it's not willing. It's not a willing give and take relationship. It's more like he was forced into it. And at the time, I didn't know this. It was a couple years after we were no longer married that he came to me and told me that, my father went to his father and told him if he didn't marry me, he would get him, incarcerated, and being a teenager. And, it was just, I didn't understand that at the time. I'm looking at it like he got with me because he really wanted to be with me, and that wasn't the case. Although we did have good times together, it dwindled because I think that heavy making somebody do something weighed on his mind, and it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. And so he's the one that turned me on at the time to marijuana, and I loved it. I loved it in the beginning because it was an escape. It allowed me to be free from all the negative, all the, just all the feelings I was feeling from as a kid. And you know, at the time I thought it was great. I really did. I thought it was a great thing. And time after time went on, relationship after relationship, because I never healed that mindset. I just kept thinking that, you know, I needed it. I gotta have it. I gotta deal with having the, I gotta have it, dealing with the, you know, anxiety and the ADHD and always not feeling worthy. And moving on, I got in relationships the same way, like constantly kept feeling, you know, I would find myself in bad relationship after bad relationship, because I never healed my mind from the negative. I would find myself in abusive relationships over and over and over again, and I never healed enough to move on to when it was time to move on to another relationship. I never healed myself from the previous one. So I found myself always lighting up, always finding that, you know, like if a failed relationship went wrong, what did I do wrong? Just never feeling worthy. And it just was a long battle. It was a long battle. And just recently I realized that no, put it down, because it's controlling me. And, you know, and now that I've realized that I'm no longer a victim of domestic violence to the extreme, that I can focus on why I did it, what was the reason behind it. Sorry, my hair's just all frizzy and everything. But it just, you know, addiction's pretty rampant in me. And so I have a lot of people around me that smoke marijuana, but I'm comfortable enough in my skin now that even if they're around me and they're doing it, it doesn't affect me anymore, because I know the impact that it had on me and how I'm renewed enough to put it down and it not control me anymore. And I'm telling you, it's the best feeling, and it saves me a ton of money. And I just wanted to say this, because I've never been honest with anybody about my addiction problem. I've never been able to come out and say, yes, I've been addicted to marijuana for over 5 decades. And I've never told people why. It was always hidden. And so I'm free. I'm free from it. It's no longer, you know, chains on me. And I can't tell you how it makes me feel, where I don't have to, you know, be lighting up because of whatever reason, and something go wrong in my life. I gotta light up again, or where am I gonna get the money for it, because I need it, because it calmed me down, or it was an escape from not feeling worthy. And I think honestly in the beginning it was the not feeling worthy is why I continued it. And then it was just over time, it was anxiety, my ADHD would kick in, and now that I'm free from it, like I said, I feel so refreshed, and I'm in control of my own life, my own destiny now. And although it's been over 5 decades to get to this point, I'm here now, and I'm fully functioning, and and two, as I'm getting older, it's not good on my heart, it's not good on my lungs. So to be able to kick the habit, it's a great feeling. And I just want to say to people out there that have an addictive personality and that are using because they don't feel worthy, or whatever the reason is, don't let it control you. Take your life back. Take your finances back, because this sure put a damper on mine. And I never could get ahead. It was always, what am I pawning, or what am I selling, or what am I doing to get that next bag of weed, and I don't have to do that anymore. And there's hope. There's hope. But for me, I had to reach within myself and find out why I was doing it and why it continued for so long. And I've come to the realization, for me, it was not feeling worthy. It was my mindset. My mind was telling me, girl, you need to light up, because it's just too much out here in the real world. And my anxiety, feeling like I was out of my skin, or it just was just too much. So that's what I had to do to get myself free. And I'm not going to tell you any lies about it. It was a struggle. It was hard to put it down, because I had put it down once before and last a month and without doing it. And boy, I'd pick it right back up because something would go wrong. And then I just finally said, why? Why? What's the root of why I'm picking it back up? And I'm here to tell you, I'm free. I'm clean from it. I can take any kind of drug test. I can do anything and come out, negative, tested negative for any kind of drugs in my system. So I just want to tell you, there's hope, and don't give up. And when you're ready, you'll know when you're ready to put it down. Because I knew when I first put it down for the month, I knew something was up. I had to stop because it was too much money. It was, it was draining my pocket. And it was draining my life, because then it would make me either overeat, or I wouldn't want to go out and do anything with anybody. I just wanted to relax. I called it chillaxing. And I really couldn't get out and do things like I wanted to, because I was always high. And I can honestly say I'm not anymore. And I'm here to share my story with you about addiction and why I did it. And I do feel worthy. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I do struggle with ADHD and anxiety, but I do it through meditation. That's how I handle it now. I handle it through meditation. And for those that aren't aware of how to do meditation, check it out. You can Google it. Everybody's different on how they do it. I have a certain focus, and then I focus on that, and then, whenever I start feeling in a pinch, like I gotta light up, or somebody's around me that, I feel like, I need to have something, I just go to that space and meditate. So now I'm just here to tell you, I'm free. I don't have any of those issues anymore. And you can too, if you ever feel like you want to put it down, whatever your addiction is, you can too. And I just want to say thank you so much, and for listening to my story. And I wish you well, and I hope this will help somebody out there that's struggling with addiction, because it's not easy, but you got to reach within yourself to find out why you're doing it. And then, like I said, in my case, it was a combination of ADHD, anxiety, and not feeling worthy through all my domestic violence stories. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story. And if you like this content, please give it a like, share to somebody that you know that might be having the same issue. And I hope you all do well. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.